Hey Blue Line Watchers, today I am filing a criminal complaint on the officers that showed up to my house, and I'm going to read it to y'all before America First and I go in and file the complaint at the DA's office in Polk County, Texas, and at Livingston PD. On February 5th, 2022, my friends and I were sitting in my living room ordering pizza. Unbeknownst to us, my crazy drugged-out neighbor made a false call to 911 after a friend walked out to his car and returned. Sergeant Bogany, 212, and Officer Scott Paske of the 206 of the Livingston Police Department were dispatched to my home located at 113 Banks Drive, Livingston, Texas, regarding lawful and legal activity. We noticed half a dozen police cars pull up in front of my home. When I answered his knock and reclosed my screen door, Sergeant Bogany opened my screen door, hand on his service weapon, and with no legal authority, violating my Fourth Amendment right to be secure from unreasonable search. Although the allegation was that someone came to my home with a gun, silenced or not, it was not an allegation of illegal activity. The allegation that he had it in his hand, which was an admitted lie, was still not illegal activity. The great state of Texas adopted constitutional carry as of September 1st, 2021, but even before that, there were legal ways to open carry a handgun in this state, even silenced. After Sergeant Bogany illegally opened my screen door, Officer Paske opened it further and kept it from closing with his body. At this time, Officer Paske demanded my guests to come out here and talk to us, quote unquote, while Sergeant Bogany made threats of calling the manager, the executive director of the Livingston Housing Authority, to force compliance with his unlawful demands. Throughout this time, both Officer Paske and Sergeant Bogany repeatedly stuck their heads and body parts past the threshold of my door, further violating my Fourth Amendment rights. They repeatedly made threats to me and my guests, stating that the manager would grant them entry into my home and that me and my children would be homeless. They also threatened to have me, my children, kicked out for having a friend over, exercising his constitutional rights, putting me in fear of being homeless. Officer Paske told my guests that when Ginger lets me in this house, quote unquote, he is going to illegally obtain paperwork from him. Sergeant Bogany stated, whoever rents these apartments, Ginger's going to kick them out. Again, making me fear that my children and I were going to be uprooted and kicked out. They also threatened to have my guest's car towed for not complying with unlawful demands. It was apparent the officers were ordered to back off. As he did the walk of shame, Sergeant Bogany shouted over the other officers' heads he would return with warrants, quote unquote. Officer Paske and Sergeant Bogany eventually allowed my screen door to close again and went off on their phones and radios, contacting my landlord and a tow truck. At one point, Officer Paske returned again and again violated my Fourth Amendment right by opening my screen door without my consent or even the courtesy of asking. At this time, he informed me that he was talking to Ginger and asked my name, further trying to intimidate me, I believe. The courts have consistently ruled that a landlord emergency would generally be due to a water leak, gas leak, fire, or other crisis that would cause damage to the property if it is not addressed immediately. A request by the police to search a rental property does not fit the criteria of an emergency. Without a search warrant, it would be against the law for a landlord to allow access to an occupied property. It is obvious in my mind from their actions at my door when Bogany repeatedly says, ask her how it works around here, quote unquote, that they have violated other low-income families within the housing authority in the past. I believe this warrants further investigation into the department's actions when dispatched to low-income domiciles, especially with these officers present on 2/5/2022. I had planned on making a complaint and stated so to Detective Caleb Barker, who arrived a short time later and stated on 3 different occasions he would not take a complaint, and we had to go to the Livingston Police Department to submit a complaint. Over the next few days, my friends and I publicly posted these officers and their reprehensible behavior. I had planned the following week to file my complaints at the Livingston Police Department, but before I could, these same officers arrived at my door, arrested me, and took me for my children. Sergeant Bogany made good on his threat and returned with warrants that contained no actual probable cause. I was arrested and charged under Texas' new anti-swatting law, Texas Penal Code, Section 42.0601, which went into an effect on the same day as constitutional carry. Officer Paske and Sgt. Bogany arrested me at my home in only my see-through nightgown in the early morning for my neighbor swatting me. I was told I could not change unless Officer Paske and Sgt. Bogany accompanied me. Instead of going directly to Polk County Jail, I was booked and photographed in only my see-through nightgown at the City of Livingston Police Department by Officer Paske, then taken to the Polk County Jail. Detective Barker filed the warrant paperwork, and Judge John Wells III gave it his rubber stamp of approval. On 3/9/2022, Police Chief Matt Parrish stated to Brandon White and Steve Watson that he was required to coordinate a press release with the prosecutor's office before releasing it. The press release was full of lies and misrepresentations of facts and applicable state law, and completely excluded the criminal threats made by the officers to me and my family at my own front door. In conclusion, I believe this is clear retaliation, abuse of official capacity, official oppression, tampering with a witness, coercion, actual organized criminal activity, conspiracy to deprive me of, or violation of, or attempted violation of my First, Second, Fourth, Fifth, and 14th Amendment rights by Officer Paske and Sergeant Bogany of the Livingston Police Department. Defamation and malicious prosecution on the part of the Livingston Police Department and the Polk County District Attorney's Office and other elected officials. It is clear from the actions of the officers, the detectives, and the DA's office that this was a targeted retaliation campaign against me, my family, and friends for prior constitutional activity and activism in the community. This is substantiated most clearly by the officers' sworn affidavits and their perverse focus on the occupants of the dwelling recording them. The charges brought against us were completely without merit, contained no probable cause, and maliciously twisted state statute into a pretzel. They deliberately ignored the criminal elements required for the swatting statutes in order to falsely charge us in retaliation.
The complaint will be uploaded in the description.
Hi, I'm here to file a criminal complaint, and I would like it to be a stamped dated receipt that y'all received it, please.
Have you taken it to the sheriff's office?
No, I'm going there next. So. They're not going to accept it. We have to take it over to the PD, and then they'll get it from them. That's what I just heard them say.
You have to take this to the agency that you're going to make a complaint. We're not allowed to take any documents.
Okay, because I have one for y'all both.
Once you go to the agency, like the sheriff's office, to make a complaint, that will be put in the file, and it will come to the DA's office as a package.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure y'all got it, and I wasn't for sure that they were actually gonna get it over here. So that's why I brought it on copy for y'all. So,
Sorry, bud. Had no idea
Okay,
you were
thank
there.
you.
Bad spot.
So, looks like we're going to the PD.
And the sheriff's.
Yeah.
I guess we can wait till tomorrow for the sheriff though, since we do have a meeting with them.
No, yes. I would say so. So. I heard him tell her that. Thought that was ridiculous.
This is kind of funny because if you take it just to, okay, so they just told you gotta take it to the department you're making a complaint on?
Yes.
So,
And they'll get it over here.
I don't think so.
I don't believe it for one second.
Because the PD's gonna take that as an employee complaint.
Yeah. Hi. I need to file a criminal complaint and I'd like a stamped data receipt, please.
Okay, the criminal report?
That's correct.
Okay, let me get. What was your name?
Melanie McCoy. Criminal complaint.
On an officer, correct?
2 of them.
Alright. Alright, so you're gonna bring out some paperwork so you can just hold on to that.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
But I am gonna need the receipt of this, but y'all
Yeah,
received
she'll be
it.
able to help you with it.
Okay, awesome, thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
Hey,
how are you?
Sheriff, good, how are you?
Oh, good, good.
Sir? Hey, Jerry. What we doing, bud? Okay. Oh, you can walk in there. Okay. All right. I called to see if somebody turned in my wallet. Wallet yesterday.
Okay, where?
Somewhere over there by the church.
I haven't seen
You
your
know what it
wallet.
was, so that's my job, I work 5 a.m. Yeah, I was ready for the daytime.
You got to go down.
No, the dispatch. Do you think they might send me to City Hall?
I doubt it. Normally, well, they're at night. They would have.
Then you turn into dispatch.
Yeah,
Dispatch?
yes. And I'll ask her when I go there. I'll ask her.
Okay. Can't make it, it's public.
Yeah, it's spoken. Okay.
I'm sorry.
You strong yourself.
I hope the live's picking that up. Just 'cause that's a hell of a conversation.
Kind of, yeah.
Hey, Melanie,
Hey.
I put the wrong date. So I was gonna come out here and tell you, can I stamp it again and
Yes.
notarize it?
Yes, please.
And then I'll give you a copy of it.
Awesome, thank you.
You want me to stamp it or can I just scratch it?
Scrape it out, scratch it out.
It's whatever you want.
It's-
And I can
like-
initial it?
Well, no, I like it stamped with the
Okay.
right date,
No, it's fine.
for sure.
There, how's that?
Perfect.
And then, you do it on the back?
Yeah, that'd be good.
And then I'll notarize it as well.
Perfect.
Did you sign it?
I did.
Okay, I'm gonna notarize right here.
Okay, that'll work.
Do you have a driver's license on you?
I don't.
I won't be able to notarize it. I still can stamp it, and then I'll
That's
go make
all
a
that
copy.
matters to me.
Today's the 10th. Make sure.
Although if that,
I'm sorry?
I mean, that's how it becomes sworn though, right?
What?
With the notary?
Yes, but I have to watch her sign it, but I have to have something to show that that's her. I mean, I
Right.
know it's her.
So can she come back, if y'all decide to move forward with this and y'all need it, she can come back, bring her ID in?
Oh, absolutely,
Right
yeah.
at that time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll be more than happy to then.
Yeah. I just have to have something showing, you know? I
Yeah,
mean, I know your face, but
right.
And notarizing it as part of this.
yes. Let me go make a copy, and here's the paperwork for the formal, if you want that too.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Go out and grab the umbrella before we head out
What's the umbrella?
in the car.
What?
I can read it now, actually.
No, please stay right here.
You're fine.
Alrighty, here you go, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
Y'all blessed
ma'am.
day.
Y'all too. Y'all be safe.
Yes. Hey, do you do on what you? Well, I got another first year with me, and we just got done about the criminal Livingston Police Department and Municipal Court tried to get the criminal complaint filed at the DA's office, and they refused to receive it, and so we had to come to PD, so we got that done now, and now we see what happens with it in the future. Please like, share, and subscribe to America First, and join us for updates.